Hello, everyone. I am Claudia Morales with the Music Division, and today I am super excited because you know why? Because I have the String Queens here at the library. Super exciting. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Library of Congress.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, please introduce yourself and let us know what instrument you play.
Okay, Kendall Isidore, violin. My name is Elise Sharp. I'm the cellist.
And I'm Dawn Johnson, and I play the viola.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us. We're excited.
So before we sat down for this conversation, we had a chance to view some material from our collection. Please share with us what you saw and what caught your eye the most.
I think we're still taking it in. It's just so robust. It's so rich. It's almost like eating a decadent dessert. And you're just sort of overflowing with taste and color and texture. And to see all of this firsthand, to feel the page, to see the manuscripts. I'm not quite sure we have the words yet to really process what a monumental moment this is for us to be at the Library of Congress, more importantly to be able to take in firsthand the fabric of American music, of Black music in this country, and to see and hear the beginnings. You can almost hear the music through seeing the score. You can almost see Mendelssohn at work, composing the octet, just looking at the page. And so it's very special. I'm actually like a little out of breath right now because it's so overwhelming.
As we, as we do our own arrangements or with each other or outside of what we do, and sitting there and composing ourselves or arranging ourselves, just to think that, oh my gosh, Stevie was doing this, Beethoven, Gershwin, like we're looking at them and they were doing exactly what we did, and to just think, I'm actually touching, like we're in our living rooms, we're doing something, and to think, wow, this is exactly what they were doing, and we're touching the music that they were creating, the ink, like I got really crazy with, oh, look at the ink, and just so enthralled in the process. And like Dawn said, you do imagine, what did they look like sitting? Like, what desk was that? Yeah. What pen did they, what ink was that? And what was the moments? Like, what were they thinking when they were composing? Was it a sad night? Was it a happy night? Were they eating? Was it after dinner? Was it first thing? It's so many thoughts came through my mind. Like, what was their situation when they were writing? Because as we compose things, sometimes we're together, sometimes we're apart. Sometimes it's one of those, I don't feel like doing anything but this. Or, oh shoot, I thought of this line. I just want to write this one measure. Like, what were their circumstances?
Yeah. And I always say that when you see it, it's like you are humanizing also.
Right, that's exactly it.
Right?
You realize how connected everything and everyone is. We're all musicians, but this was centuries represented of different genres. I think about their teachers who taught them how to play their instruments, who taught them, and even looking at the annotations, right? The markings, the pencil markings, the little marker. Even though there are different time periods, it's all the same language. And so it just made me think, we're all connected. This culture of being a string player, we're all connected across seas, across worlds, across age groups, across genres, across eras. We're more unified than we realize. Seeing Aretha Franklin's music and also seeing Beethoven's pen, right? And both are scores, both are telling a story through each note. An A is an A, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in, right, no matter where you are, right? And it's just a bigger message. But like Dawn said, I'm still taking it in. It's amazing to be sitting next to a collection of Stradivarius instruments and to think about my part, my very small part in this gigantic world of chamber music and string music. It's an honor.
Well, I'm glad. So, String Queens is a local ensemble, local DMV residents. So I must ask, where do you go to school in the area?
So I didn't grow up in DC. I've been here for the last 20 years, but I first got here when I attended Howard University. I also attended GW for my master's. And DC was always a place that I just couldn't wait to be. The first name of a university I ever knew was Howard. So even as a 6-year-old, you know, I set my sights on DC. But yeah, I'm not originally from DC, but it has become home.
And I am originally from DC. So let me give you all the schools I went to. But I am going to shout out all of them.
Yes,
Whittier
yes,
Elementary
please.
School, Rabeau Junior High School, Coolidge High School, COO, and then I attended Howard. And then I have to shout out the people that showed me and took care of me and nurtured me in learning how to play this cello. And that's the DC Youth Orchestra
Yes,
program.
yes,
It started at a young age, and through all of the schools I went to, they were the center of my music education.
Oh, I guess me. I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and so I went Miami to New York. I went to the Juilliard School. I earned my bachelor's and master's degree in viola performance. I fell in love when I was in college with my husband. We've been married now for almost 15 years. Thanks, Brian. But he was teaching at the Howard University Middle School of Math and Science at the time. He was an English language arts teacher, and so we would commute back and forth. We were dating. I was at Juilliard. He was at Howard, and then I finished school and I had no job, I had nowhere to live, I had no place to go. And he's like, hey, I got it all. And I'm like, okay. And so he drove a van to New York City and packed up my apartment, mattress on the top of the car, and we drove to DC, and I've been here ever since. We're all music educators, we're all educators as well, and so even though we're not students per se in the traditional sense right now, I am an instructional coach at KIPP DC, which is one of the nation's largest networks of public schools in the country, and both Kendall and Elise are also educators. Elise is an orchestra director at Bishop McNamara High School, where Kendall is also the assistant director, of admissions for Bishop McNamara High School. And so even though we're not full-time students right now, we are very much intertwined in teaching the next generation of students and performers and young string players and musicians and entrepreneurs. And it really is a lifestyle. I always say teaching doesn't just end, 9 to 5. Teaching is a lifestyle. And even though we're not in a classroom right now, as you can see, we're learning so much. And we take this knowledge, everything that we acquire in performance on the road, we bring it all back into our school communities and make sure that we impart all of that knowledge with our students.
So knowing that the three of you are educators and you are musicians, I heard that you are educators in the day and musicians at night, right? So how did the project start back in the day?
Well, it started because we met one another. This all started from friendship, right? Elise and Dawn were the first to meet one another. They were actually playing in a Baltimore-based symphony called the Soulful Symphony, comprised of just the most elite, the most talented, beautiful string players from New York City and also the DMV area and Baltimore. So Dawn was a student at Juilliard, commuting back and forth every time they had a concert. Elise was the principal cellist, so first chair of her section. Dawn was, of course, the first chair of her section. So they sat near one another playing beautiful music, but also admiring one another's playing, also admiring one another's fashion, also admiring, just kind of, hey girl, like it's so good to see you, just really forming a bond, even backstage. That then, of course, we had to meet, like where did I come in? Well, I was teaching with Dawn's husband at the Howard University Middle School of Math and Science. He was teaching English and I was teaching science. So I have a biology degree from Howard. So I was teaching 6th grade science. We were on our planning period in the teacher's lounge. And I guess I had a disgruntled look on my face and he goes, Kenny, like, what's going on with your face? Like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'd be great if I could find a violist for this wedding I have coming up. Because all of us at different points have been called on to put a group together for a wedding. He goes, well, my wife plays viola. And I'm like, yeah, right. Anyway, like I said, if I could just find a violist. He's like, no, seriously, she went to Juilliard. She's got 2 degrees. And I'm like, say no more. I need her number. I gave her a call. We carpooled to the gig. We already had a cellist at the time, so I didn't know Elise yet. And Dawn and I, we were riding in my 99 Beetle, stick shift, no air conditioning.
Oh, no.
It was raining, so the windows were up. But she didn't care. We were just having such a good time just meeting one another and just sharing things in common. Before you know it, the gig was over. But we were locked in, and we knew we were locked in for life. And then Elise and I were called upon to do different gigs around the city. So like DC Jazz Festival might be hosting a fundraiser, and they would call the 2 of us together. We didn't know one another. They would just say, hey, you improvise, and you improvise. Y'all meet at this venue at this time. And that's how we would meet. That's how we met for the first time. Then we formed a bond. Then we enjoyed playing with one another. The funkiest, grooviest child. She's the heart and soul of the String Queens and the foundation of the sound.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I finally met somebody who's not afraid to come off of the page.
Yeah.
Yes, we are raised as string players to read music, but our bodies, our souls, the fabric of who we are as African American people is everything off the page. And so I was like, I met my girl. And then Dawn had to get, because at this point we had not played the three of us together, because I wasn't yet in Soulful Symphony. So here comes Dawn needing a couple of folks to make up a trio for a wedding. And so she knew a Kendall and she knew an Elise. She put the three of us together for the first time. But of course we had to rehearse and get ready. So Dawn is so organized. She put together binders for each instrument, but it was all children's music because our first rehearsal was not in a classroom or in a concert hall. It was supposed to be at Dawn's baby's 1-year-old birthday party at Haynes Point, not too far from here.
Right.
We get to the party with our instruments and sheet music. We never open our cases because we were just having so much fun, just enjoying one another's family and friends and her beautiful child. She has 2 children now. She only had 1. That 1-year-old is now 11.
Yeah.
And she has a 2-year-old son.
that?
We did the wedding the next day. And even when we played classical, we noticed that there was something specifically different and timeless about our sound. And the rest is kind of history.
Yeah.
And how has String Queens evolved, transitioned from that moment to where you are now?
Well, I think in so many different ways we've evolved. First, when you get into any relationship, you're learning each other. And we had a great time working together. And it really was from that wedding gig where we decided, someone said, as we're loading our different cars, we need to do something with this. And so that was the beginning. So we're in this courting season and learning each other and being polite and figuring out, how we fit with each other. And now we're just in a place where we already know where the other one is going. We know each other's vibe. Everyone knows how they fit into this what their puzzle piece is, how it functions, and really gelling together. It's now a family. I mean, they're my sisters, and our families are families. We've evolved in that way. Musically, we've evolved. I mean, we come now. Kendall is the one though. Now Kendall is the one who, from the jump, was like, "What you want to play?" Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, "Well, let me just get my music out first," So I will say, for me personally, just learning how to be unafraid, with music and feel them through a groove. And say, what music? Let's go. What's the beat? And we just go with it. I think we've matured in our sound. We definitely take our classical training of blending, dynamics, articulation. We sit with music. I don't know if that bowing works. Try 5 different ways of playing one thing, and now it's a rhythm. We still go through the motions, but the process is different. The process is more mature and just a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. I think of the evolution too, just in terms of the amount of people and audiences we've been able to reach. I remember one of our very first gigs was the DC Jazz Festival, Sutton Square at the Wharf, the newly renovated DC Wharf, again, not too far from here. And we maybe had 20 to 30 people who just kind of walked by throughout our set. We ran out of music. We didn't have enough music, and so we were hoping the first crowd would leave so we can recycle the set for the next crowd that would come in. And now, I think about Hollywood Bowl, where we're playing to audiences over 15,000 people coming from all over the world. And that really influences our repertoire because often after our performances, we do a meet and greet with audience members and we get to hear their stories and their personal connections to the music. We get to hear their requests for music, and that really, we take all of that into consideration when we're sitting to decide our set list or the next piece of music that we want to play. And I think about the album, Rise. So much of that repertoire was influenced by what we were all living through globally at the time, a global global pandemic, the economy going all over the place, racism running rampant. And so we took all of these things that were really plaguing our world, not just American culture, but plaguing the world. And we said, how do we want to have an artistic response to all of this? And so we very carefully, I think we started out with maybe 30 songs on a whiteboard. We do everything on a whiteboard. We're teachers. We have our expo markers, and every idea is written out. And so we had the whiteboard, and we just said, this doesn't really fit right now. This really isn't going to speak to people. And so we landed on pieces like Stand By Me by Benny King and Total Praise by Richard Smallwood. And John Blake's, we do a John Blake arrangement of Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child. And so you really go on this musical journey from a place where we were all feeling emotionally depleted, defeated, not having very much hope. And so that's really where the album kind of starts. And as you go from track to track, you start to see these little beams of light coming through until you get to the very end, and it's just so triumphant. It's to say, hey guys, this is all going to be okay, right? And we recorded that at the height of the pandemic. And so when you reflect back on that album, when you reflect back on all of the repertoire that we've played over the years, it's really a response to what people are wanting, what people are yearning for, from their personal testimonies to the emails that we get to social media requests. And so we really start to see those patterns and the trends that are forming, and we say, hey guys, this is something that we need to really respond to right now. People need this. Kendall always says, you never know with music. Someone right in that moment could need that very one note, could need that very one motif or that phrase, and it could change their life. And so that's really the primary determining factor of how we select our repertoire and how we choose to evolve as a group.
And that album, you released in 2022 through a grant from Sphinx Organization.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Did you apply? How was it?
Yeah, it's a very rigorous grant writing process. I'm the daughter of a grant writer, and so I spent much of my childhood watching my mom up late at night writing grants. And so I think that was my first real stab at writing a grant, and we got the whole everything we requested for funding. But it was through the Sphinx Organization, and I believe there's some Sphinx ensembles who come through the Library of Congress to perform. The Harlem Quartet, the Sphinx Virtuosi.
We had them in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Harlem Quartet in 2023.
Yes, and all just magnificent ensembles. But something that's really special about Sphinx is that they make sure that young African American Latinx performers have access to resources to be able to consider a viable performer and a viable just entertainer in this field where you don't see very many people who look like us. They will provide an instrument. They will provide grant money to go record an album. If you have an audition, there's a fund for that. And so they have a Sphinx competition, a Sphinx Connect conference that happens in Detroit every January, where literally young African American Latinx performers from all over the country are coming to this convening, the largest convening of people who look like us playing these instruments, to hear lectures and to go to master classes and to see young performers compete for grand prizes of upwards of $50,000, which is life-changing for a young performer who's just starting out in their career. And so we applied for this, the grant is called the Empower Artist Grant. And so if you're an alumni of Sphinx in any capacity, you're eligible to apply for this grant. And so I used to perform with the Sphinx Orchestra. And so that made us eligible to apply as the string queens for the Empower Artists Grant. And we applied and we were awarded. It's a very thorough process, and so you apply, the process of recording the album photographs, paying the engineers and the other musicians on the album, mastering, mixing, right? We really got our feet really wet in the recording process, and then writing the final report at the end, right? And so, but that opened up a world of new opportunities for us, because now we know we can crowdfund to create an album. We can apply for a grant to create an album, right? There's so many opportunities and resources out there for young performers who just have a dream of recording or traveling somewhere to perform. There are resources and money available out there to make that happen, and the Sphinx Organization is one of those organizations that does that.
So that album includes many hits that you made arrangements for. Have you ever considered writing your own music? Oh. Hello.
That's what you said in the parking lot.
Well, we already did ours in the parking lot.
We did.
No, I'm just video bombed.
Well, you're welcome to stay. He's coming low.
And the reason is, it just makes my heart feel so good to see you all, because I'm the child of a violinist, okay? And he started the string department at Florida A&M.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Okay.
What's your father's name?
Bruce Hayden.
Bruce Hayden.
And he was down there, meant that. So I'm a librarian because I didn't have the talent, and I appreciate it. And my mom is 93. She knew you were coming, she couldn't come because she was his accompanist.
Oh, wow.
Piano. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
He could not, and he had to teach because at that time, in 1950, 51 or something, that's all they could do. Couldn't perform,
Wow.
couldn't be in an orchestra or anything like that. So it just really,
Right.
to see you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And your women too.
There is yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yes, you get in the middle. You get in the middle.
I love the blue.
So, the album Rise and your 3 albums, you include very many hits, popular music that you arrange for. Have you ever considered writing your own music and including your music in your releases in the future?
Absolutely. It's actually in process right now. And so part of the fabric of what people hear as the final product from us, whether it's an album or a concert, is a series of rehearsals and recordings. If we hear an idea, we get our phones out. We have technology. We record that melody, or I'll send it to Don Don. I think we could put these harmonies together. And so that's actually what we're doing right now as we speak, because we hope to start recording our next album later this year. We love bringing together timeless classics and pulling every motif, every layer, every dimension of Stevie Wonder's, Isn't She Lovely, or Earth, Wind & Fire's September. But we also know that we are composers and arrangers, and we have so much to share collectively with the world as original music. So we're really excited. We don't want to say too much, but it's in the works.
And you heard it here first.
Yes.
I don't know if you want
No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
You are, as we said, educators and working musicians. And those two worlds are completely intertwined in your life right now, individually and collectively. Have you ever considered or thought about that at some point you might have to make a decision? Are you there yet?
Oh, what decision would that be? I mean, we're musicians, and it includes education, it includes the outreach, it includes the performance, it includes master classes, it includes we do both, we do all of it. And so just like when you have children, one has to be somewhere and someone has to be somewhere else. You just have to make a decision who gets there first. And I hate to make it like children, but with our music, it is our baby. And so if there is a moment where we have to say, you know what, we're not going to be at work right now, we need to take off for this amount of time for performances, we will.
Okay.
We're blessed to know that we will be able to teach, and we know that, listen, I'm getting older, and I'm blessed to have this moment, and I'm thankful to have leadership that understands and allows me, says, I love what you're doing professionally as a musician, I love what you're doing as an educator, and I get to take off and go and perform. I'm not sure how long I'll be performing. I mean, I told my husband, I'm going to my grave next night. I'm going to my die on the stage. Die on the stage. And he laughs. He didn't believe me at first, but now he understands I will die on the stage. Sorry, I hope you don't. But I always feel, why choose? Why do I have to choose? I will be doing one more than the other, but I don't see myself taking off a year. I mean, listen, we go out, even on Sunday, we're going to perform, but we're also in performing, we're doing a session with children, and the children will be on stage with us performing, so workshop, and then it comes together in a concert with children. I don't see a place where I have to, honestly, where I have to choose. I may have more performances in 1 month than classes I teach, or vice versa, more classes I teach than performances that much. But I don't see where I have to choose it.
That's
and
wonderful.
At this moment, I won't choose.
That's wonderful. You're in the best situation.
Yeah.
You have both.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're here tonight for a performance at the Coolidge Auditorium.
Yes.
Share with us who else is performing with you on stage tonight.
We're so honored that we perform as a string trio, but sometimes we get to bring an amazing world-class rhythm section.
Yes.
I mean, we really do play with folks who, they play with all your favorite musicians and mine. They tour all over the world. We have Anthony Walker on piano, classically trained pianist, professor, and an artist in his own right. Every genre you can think of, he is a master of, and I mean that. And then you have Charles Wilson, a native of Baltimore, amazing drummer, jazz drummer, but again, can play any genre. And these folks are deciding to play with us. You know, folks don't have to say yes, but we feel the spirit when we're on stage with them of connectedness, of love, of a shared passion for excellence, but bringing a message to the people through the music, not just performing and there's a barrier, right? We break that plane, we break that barrier. It's an experience for all of us. And last but not least, we're actually, we have a guest playing with us. We normally play with an amazing bassist who's named Romer Mendez. He's out traveling with another amazing world-class group. And so we have Steve Arnold today, who's an amazing bassist in the area as well on bass. So again, world-class rhythm section, and they just bring our sound to another dimension.
Yeah.
And like performing with us is more than just playing notes and rhythm and like getting on stage. We do things like have family dinners with our band because like Elise was saying earlier, the relationship is so very important to how the music is presented on stage. And so you could be the best drummer or pianist or bass player in the world, but if something in here does not align with our mission and our message and character, then unfortunately, it's just not going to be the right fit for us. And so we're so grateful and blessed to have been able to find that fit and that family of musicians that we can always call on to come around the world and perform with us.
That's wonderful. And what should we expect from stage tonight?
Toe tapping, knee slapping.
We hope people are delighted. We hope people are blessed from the experience tonight. We know the tickets have been gone for a very long time. Folks were here, this morning trying to get, we just hope that we all can share in 75 minutes of just pure beauty. The hall itself is gorgeous. We know we haven't done our sound check yet. We know it sounds gorgeous. And even what this building represents, the Library of Congress, who it represents as musicians, it's an honor to play. So you can expect jazz, you can expect R&B, you can expect gospel, right? You can expect Negro spirituals, right? You can expect, a little Chick Corea in there. Like we really try to cover not just a genre, but an experience and a feeling. Our, not just tagline, but our mission statement is to create musical experiences for diverse audiences. And these musical experiences I'm talking about, we hope that they will inspire people to love, hope, feel, and imagine. That's all we care about. If something we did, said, played inspires people to do even just one of those things, then we feel we have done our job. Now there's some music and there's hands up and there's dancing and all of that, but that's really what it's about. We don't know if somebody is coming in because they've been grieving this week, or they lost, a loved one, or they lost their job. There are so many things going on in our world today. We talked about Rise, but even now, years after the pandemic, we're still experiencing our own kinds of pandemic, different kinds of pandemics. And so we owe it to every audience we are graced and blessed to be able to perform for, to share in their experience and let them know we are humans too. We are wives too. We are mothers too. We are educators. We are friends. We grieve too. We bleed too. And it's for all of us. Yes. Music is for all of us. Yes. And as string players, there's a tradition of string playing, chamber music is just for these people. It's for all of us.
That's right.
And that's why we play the music we play on our stringed instrument. It's for all of us.
Yes.
And with that, we're gonna close. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We can't wait to watch you on stage.
Thank you.
For the ones watching from home, see you next time. Thank you.